Hey, how's it going? We're gonna try something a little different today. We're gonna make paper cups. So you guys haven't made anything in a long time, so I think it's a good time to do it. Um, After you watch the other video that I put on there, now you're gonna come up with a design for a cup to make out of paper. I'm just gonna use regular printer paper. You could use newspaper, color paper, whatever, construction paper, any kind of paper you have. You can color it, you can design it, whatever you want. I'm just going to stick with white. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do and some things that I really don't want you to do. So first, I'll show you what I don't want. Don't just take paper and make a cylinder like that, tape it, and put a base on it and a handle and call it a mug. I want it to be something a little more creative. So I want you to change the form somehow. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it. So right now I have two pieces of paper that I folded together. Two pieces gives it a little more strength. You'd probably have to double up with newspaper also. So now I need a circle. So I'm going to use a paint can. Use what you got, right? Sort of divide it. Put it about in the center. And I'm going to trace around the bottom. Okay, move that. So now I have basically a half circle, probably a little more. So now I'm going to take a smaller circle, even it up, let's see. Try to get it as even as possible. And trace that. Actually, I'm going to trace the inside. I like that better. So now I have some lines to cut. So just get some scissors. I'm going to cut the outside first. My scraps. Okay, so now I should have basically a circle cut out. Now I'm going to cut the inside out. Now I have a donut. I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half in one spot like that. Take my fold out of it. So it's really more of an oval, it's not really a circle because I moved my paint can too far. But that doesn't really matter. I can trim stuff away. So now I'm going to make it more like a cone. So I'm going to tighten this up. So now you see I have a cone shape. I can make it smaller or bigger, whatever I want to do. So I'm going to hold this. Take a little tape. Any kind of tape will do, whatever you have laying around. What I want to do is make sure that it kind of lined up on the bottom, and that's going to help the top line up also. So I want to take the inside and the outside of this. Just going to put a piece of tape on. Alright, so now I have my cone relatively round. So now if I wanted to, actually it's not as good as I'd like. I'm going to move the inside a little more. I'd definitely rather be working with clay. But these are things that you can actually do with clay. So you can take slabs and you can make pieces like this and connect them to make pots with different forms. Alright, so that's going to sit like that. I've already cut a couple of strips here. I want to be able to get my cone, my cylinder shape. Before you can see. So I'm going to tape these down. So I get more length out of this. Probably right there. Add a little more tape on. If you pre-cut your tape, it's probably easier to do. Alright, so now I have a cylinder. You may have to cut out some of the pieces on the inside of your cone. Make it a little tighter. So if I put the cylinder down, if I want to put this on top of that, right, to make this sort of this shape, this one's pretty sloppy, but I want to go ahead and turn it over this way and do it like this. And then put a few pieces of tape around it. So then for a base, you can take the cutout that you already had and you can use that and tape it on there. So then that would be a different kind of form for a mug instead of just a straight cylinder. So you can make several of these and change it up and make different forms. So I have one that I made already. It's kind of this shape and added a handle to it. Now I don't know if I would like to use it as made out of clay because it's going to be hard to clean out in the bottom, but you know, it's something to play around with. So how do you make a handle? So the way I made a handle before, I just took a piece of paper like this, there's a full sheet, and I'm going to roll it up into a cone. Like that, right? So I can tighten this cone up too. I want to get it pretty tight. So when it gets tighter, it gets longer and gets sharper at the bottom, which is kind of what I'm going for. Take a little more tape. Tape that one piece on. Now, I'm going to flatten this out. So now I have this shape. So I want to get a curve going. So I'm just going to use the corner of this table. And I'm going to start to bend the handle. So now you can see it's starting to look a little more like a clay handle, right? So I can cut this piece. Get a little more curve up here at the top. Get a little piece of tape ready. So I'm going to tape it on the underside. And I can put it on this cylinder. Right. And then you can bend it and you can tape the bottom. And that way you have a handle that has a little more volume to it, a little fuller. Looks like something you could use. So that's really all I want to show you. Just a little playing around with the paper and seeing what you can get out of it. So like I said, do more than just a cylinder, right? You can play around with maybe cutting pieces out and folding it together, but I would definitely double up on the paper. The stiffer it is, the better it's going to be. Like I said, with newspaper, you may use 2 or 3 pieces put together and then figure it out. But again, you could decorate these after you construct it. You could color the paper before and then cut out pieces and start putting them together. Start playing around with it and send me a picture of what you got into Canvas. All right, that should be about it. Thank you. We'll see you.